Now on CoastTV News.
The Labor Day slowdown, what businesses are saying that they can expect with the unofficial close of the summer season. And a victim identified by Delaware State Police in the deadly motorcycle crash. The details released by police on that high-speed situation that ended in tragedy.
Well, our picture-perfect holiday weekend pushes on here on Delmarva after hitting a high of 77 degrees here in Georgetown. We're going to see another night in the 50s, and the latest on a magnificent Labor Day ahead coming up.
And a young woman now recovering after being hit by a car in Dewey Beach. What police said happened.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Grace Eckerly. Welcome to CoastTV News at 6. We begin tonight with Dewey Beach Police, who are investigating after a woman was hit by a car on Coastal Highway near Dagsworthy Avenue. It happened at the area on your screen now. You may be familiar with it. Officials say the 28-year-old woman from Columbia, Maryland, was conscious but injured after being hit by a Cadillac Escalade that did not stop. Surveillance video confirmed that the crosswalk lights were working, and police say the driver from Alexandria, Virginia, has been found to be at fault. And as we reported just last night, Dewey police also arresting a 29-year-old from Wilmington. That man is charged with reckless driving in an incident that happened on Friday night around 9:30 p.m. And here's what officers say happened in this instance. The driver went around a few stopped vehicles, then failed to stop at a stop sign. That's when officers attempted to pull him over. And that's when the officers say that the man tried to speed away on Coastal Highway, hitting almost 70 miles an hour, going through a 25-mile-an-hour zone. The driver then blew through a red light where people were crossing the street, so they jump out of the way to avoid being hit, and that's according to police when the pursuit continued south. They hit speeds of over 100 miles an hour before police pulled over the man around the Indian River Inlet Bridge. The man then admitted to drinking that night and was taken into custody. And for more on this chase and a full list of those charges, you can head to coasttvnews.com or our mobile app and search Dewey Beach Pursuit. We have an update for you tonight in the deadly motorcycle crash. The victim, identified by Delaware State Police as 39-year-old Isidoro Cerda of Dover. DSP said it happened just after 7 a.m. on Friday morning on Beach Highway in Greenwood. Police say the motorcycle was speeding westbound, crossed into the opposite lane to pass by two vehicles, then lost control, returning to its own lane. The motorcycle began to skid, left the road, and hit a utility pole. Cerda was killed in the crash. And we're going to take a live look over into Dover right now. Our first alert meteorologist, Chris Mastrobono, joining us now. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Grace. It was a chilly start to our Sunday. Check out some of these lows this morning. 52 Georgetown, 49 Salisbury, 48 in Ocean City. We're in the 50s and 40s along the eastern shore. We got up into the upper 70s today, but now we're holding in the lower 70s. We're at 72 Georgetown, 71 in Delmar, 71 Rehoboth Beach to 71 in Bethany. Kind of more of a northeast wind now, onshore flow, nice breeze at the coast, and we're between about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Beautiful evening in Ocean City on the boards there, 71-degree temperature with that wind out of the northeast, and it's going to be a really nice evening with temperatures falling to around 67 by around 8 under partly cloudy skies. Well, aside from a few clouds filtering in, we're pretty dry throughout much of the mid-Atlantic and northeast, as high pressure is really going to be the focal point of our weather pattern here through the holiday. An abundance of sunshine for our Labor Day. Temperatures holding in the mid to upper 70s. Will continue to be cool and comfortable. We do have a moderate risk of rip currents along the coast. We'll talk more about that coming up in that full 7-day forecast. Grace.
Thanks, Chris. And over in Maryland, Governor Wes Moore recognizing today, August 31st, as International Overdose Awareness Day. Flags across the state will be lowered to half-staff, and the government house will be purple tonight to honor those lost to drug overdoses. The governor also warning that federal cuts to treatment and recovery services would reserve Maryland's recent progress. And important to know, overdose deaths are currently on the decline statewide. And Labor Day weekend, widely considered the unofficial end to the summer season, and things here on the coast do tend to slow down a little bit after this. Coast TV News spoke to some beach businesses who had mixed feelings on what the long weekend means to them. Some businesses here in Rehoboth telling us that this weekend, sales are going to start to nosedive. But interestingly enough, over in Lewis, one store telling us that's not the case at all.
At our store, September is our biggest month, followed by October. And so we are looking forward to the next 2 months, and then before you know it, you're into holiday, and that's a whole other great, opportunity.
The co-owner of Surf Shack in Rehoboth Beach telling us that this weekend marks the time when sales really start to go down, especially when they're selling summer items like bathing suits and towels, sunscreen. She says the winter months can be especially tough, but that they're used to it. And as you saw in Lewis at Deanna's clothing store, they agreed that Labor Day weekend acts as the last hurrah, but for Deanna's, this time actually is the start of their surge. And over in Ocean City, beach cleanup days are back this month in September, giving volunteers a chance to help keep the shoreline clean. Events are scheduled for every Tuesday from 9 to 10 a.m. and that starts on September 2nd. Locations, those change every week. Some of those including Northside Park and 13th Street at First Presbyterian Church. The cleanups are organized by Beach Heroes OC and are open to all ages. And I want to show you the scene here out of Salisbury. This happened just after 1 o'clock this afternoon. Salisbury Fire and EMS crews responding to a car crash with injuries at the intersection of Naylor Mill and West Road. The call to rescue bringing in additional units. Crews quickly extricated the patient and all injured civilians were transported to Tidal Health. And something to look forward to in the week ahead over in Lewis, the Lewis Yacht Club is set to host the 2025 Optimist Atlantic Coast Championship. The club says that they're expecting 160 boats from all over the East Coast. The top 25% of the championship gold and silver boats will qualify to participate in the Optimist Team Trials. The event is scheduled for September 6th and 7th. And the Ocean City Police Department now investigating 2 burglaries that happened yesterday morning. Officers determining that the same individual was involved in both cases. This is the image that police departments are releasing of the suspect earlier this weekend. The first case, the suspect broke into an enclosed outdoor bar near 2nd Street in Ocean City. And in the second case, the suspect breaking into a mini golf business near 139th Street. And cleanup efforts are underway after a freight train derailed in Fort Worth, Texas. Look at this. An investigation will try and determine why the Union Pacific train jumped the tracks earlier this morning. In total, 9 cars derailed. 2 of those cars leaking carbon monoxide. And as a precaution, officials in the area issued a shelter-in-place order that was later lifted just a few moments ago, and no one was hurt, according to local fire departments. And a wild scene in the Atlantic. Take a look at this. This is newly released footage here on your screen. Out of North Carolina, a pilot being rescued after crashing into the ocean. This happened earlier this month off of Oak Island, where Mark Finkelstein's plane had engine problems. The engine failure apparently caused it to crash and flip into the ocean. But within minutes, a number of agencies were at the scene to reach the pilot and transport him back to the shore. And coming up next on Coast TV News at 6, some local golfers hitting the course and putting for a good cause, where all that money that they raise is going to benefit.
And it's another cool, crisp evening for our holiday weekend. Our Sunday night featuring temperatures falling to around 63 by around 10. We'll eventually see mostly clear skies, and we're back into the 50s. I'll have the latest on your Labor Day forecast in minutes.
Also coming up, Milton just got a brand new Verizon cell tower this week, and it's up and running. But a national Verizon outage this morning may have caused some chaos. That's after the break.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
The Ocean Pines Golf Club was buzzing with energy on Friday as it hosted the 18th annual Ernie Stiles Memorial Bavarian Hops Golf Classic. Here's a pic of some happy folks there. 72 golfers teed off for 9 holes and a good cause, raising over $3,000 for Diaconia and the Worcester County Humane Society. And today marks the 28th anniversary of Princess Diana's death. Years later, the Princess of Wales still touching the hearts of so many. Before the accident, the princess left a time capsule in the walls of a London hospital. That building now undergoing renovations, so officials decided to open it. Some of the items inside being a solar-powered calculator, British coins, a sheet of recycled paper, a European passport, and a pocket television. A picture of Diana also in that capsule. Video here of Pope Leo today, calling for an end to the, quote, pandemic of arms while praying for the victims of the Minneapolis church shooting. Denounced the attack and the, quote, logic of weapons fueling wars around the world. Leo's predecessor, Pope Francis, had long railed against the weapons industry and the proliferation of arms fueling wars across the world.
Well, the below average temperatures and comfortable conditions are going to continue through the month of September, at least through the first week, and then we're going to see some humidity and some rain chances arrive by the end of the week. We'll talk more about that coming up in that full 7-day forecast right after the break. Well, we're hanging out in Rehoboth Beach. Boy, what a beautiful weekend it has been with these below average temperatures. A little clouds rolling over, but I'll tell you what, a perfect evening, and it's been just a beautiful stretch of weather. We're at 71 in Rehoboth, dew point 57, seeing that onshore wind. Temperatures holding in the mid to upper 60s through the evening under partly cloudy skies. Will eventually be clear through the overnight. We're at 71 Long Neck, 71 in Lewis, 72 in Georgetown after hitting a high of 77, and we are at 72 in Laurel. So we're going to stay dry, comfortable. Humidity is going to be very nice over the next 3 to 4 days, but then as we go into Thursday and Friday, notice the dew point's going back up into the 70s, so we're going to see a return of some humidity by the end of the week. There's that flow with some clouds pushing over the area, but high pressure is really going to continue to be our friend here as we begin the month of September. As we put our kind of a bow tie on August, it was a below average month. We had 25 days below average. Rainfall was below average as well. We were about a inch to 64/10 shy of where we should be for this time of year for the month of August, and it's shaping up to be one of the coolest Augusts in about 30 years for Georgetown. And there's the rainfall. We were somewhat below average. Now, we had a lot of rain in July, but starting to see some abnormally dry areas across the peninsula, so that is kind of the threshold before we get to moderate drought. We're at 56 tonight, mostly clear, pleasant and comfy. Tomorrow, beautiful day, mostly sunny skies, highs in the mid to upper 70s, moderate risk of rip currents through the Delaware and coast as well as Maryland down through Assateague and Chincoteague, waves anywhere between 2 to 4 feet. So plenty of sunshine through our Labor Day. As we go into Tuesday, partly cloudy skies after morning lows in the 50s. We're right back up into the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. And I think by Wednesday, we'll be right around 80 degrees. We'll take a look at Labor Days here. We had the hottest 92 degrees we had 1954, 2014, 2018, 2023. The coolest low we've seen on Labor Day was 45. So we dipped down to 52. We could get down to the 40s. That was back in 1982, and we should be right around 83 for our high this time of year. High pressure settling in as we go into Tuesday, really Tuesday through Thursday, and then that high will begin to break down. A cold front will push through Friday. Most of Friday is dry. I think we do see a shot of some showers and maybe even a thunderstorm by Friday night. As we push along here, we have 82 on Thursday with that isolated shower chance, a better chance of some showers Friday, but then those showers and the front clears just in time for next weekend. So next weekend looking pretty nice too, with temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. We'll have more news coming up.
Our Verizon tower in Milton, that was just days ago when it finally became operational. But there was some trouble today, but this time nationwide. At least 22,000 power outages were reported yesterday on the Disruption Tracker website. Most of the users actually along the East Coast who lost service, saying that their iPhones displayed an SOS or SOS only message at the top of their screen. Officials blaming a software issue. CoastTV News will be back after the break. A new study coming out explaining why you might not want to skip breakfast, saying that skipping breakfast increases the risks of osteoporosis and broken bones by 18%, and made you more likely to have lower vitamin D and calcium levels. Eating a late dinner also increasing that risk of osteoporosis by 8%. And those who did both had their risk double to over 23%. Researchers now finding that those unhealthy eating habits were linked to other risky factors like smoking, not getting enough exercise, and poor sleep. Doctors may soon have a new way to treat high blood pressure. A new drug developed by AstraZeneca called Baxdrostat has shown some promise in treating people with uncontrolled high blood pressure in recent trials. And researchers say if approved, it would be one of the first new approaches to treating high blood pressure in decades. Nearly half of all adults in the U.S. have higher than normal blood pressure. And CoastTV News returns after this.
It's another cool, crisp night on Delmarva as we fall into the mid to upper 50s. Our Labor Day looking fantastic. Mostly sunny skies, looking great for the grilling. Mostly sunny, 76 by the afternoon. Will fall to 67 by around 7 o'clock. You get your latest forecast by dialing the First Alert Weather Phone, sponsored by Broxton Mandalas Federico. And 77 by Tuesday. We're up to 80 Wednesday. Yes, Sunday night football on Thursday night. That's the debut of the NFL season right here on CoastTV. Looking pretty good there. 82 degrees with a late shower possible.
Thank you for joining us here tonight on CoastTV News at 6. For more local news and weather, download our CoastTV News app and be sure to join us back here tonight at 11. And until then, have a great night.